In Parshas Pekudie, the Torah talks about the Mishkan. Now, I'm going to ask a theoretical question. Was the Mishkan beautiful? You think to yourself, of course. The Aron, the menorah, the exquisite tapestries. How could you say, was the Mishkan beautiful? But I repeat my question. Was the Mishkan beautiful? Because if you looked at the tabernacle from the outside, it was covered over with goat skin. Just a black, plain goat skin. Like someone throwing over something over the Corvette. It looked like a tent in the wilderness. Why was it that the Mishkan that was so beautiful was covered over with a very basic covering? And the answer is the following. That this reflected where the Jewish people were at their stage of development. The Jews were just taken out of Egypt, but Egypt had not left them yet. They still had a slave mentality. And maybe on the surface from the outside, they looked like they were covered over with a plain goat skin. But God knew what was on the inside, the potential, the menorah, the Aron, all the beautiful tapestries. They were contained inside the Jewish heart. And that was the vision that God had for the Jewish people. When they finally go into the land of Israel and they build the Beis HaMikdash, the Beis HaMikdash in the front of the Beis HaMikdash was gorgeous. But God knew the potential all the way back when they're in the desert, when they had that slave mentality. And this is the lesson that we need to take in our lives as well. That a lot of people just look at others on the surface and see what they see. But with God's eyes, you have to look at people and say, what can they become? What is their potential? And that is an important way of looking at other people. Because often when you look at them and see what they can become, that becomes self-fulfilling prophecy. And they want to swell to the proportions of what prophecy you're laying out for them. I want to give an example. They tell a story of a teacher who was given the IQ scores of many students. And she saw that they were very high and she didn't understand, why are they not reading? So she imposed draconian punishments. And she said, guys, you could do this and I don't care. I don't care how hard you work. I know your IQ scores are high. And she pushed them. And that class started reading at high levels. And in fact, better than the other classes. The principal comes at the end of the year and says, how was it that you were able to get this class that were very, very difficult students to deal with in their reading? And she says, you handed me their IQ scores. Of course, I knew they had the potential. And the principal says, we don't give out the IQ scores. He says, what are you talking about? At the beginning of the year, you gave me the IQ scores. They're so high. And the principal says, no. Those are the locker numbers. I gave you the locker numbers. But this teacher, through the power of self-fulfilling prophecy, thought these students have potential, pushed them to that potential, and they actually expanded and grew. That is the lesson of the Mishkan. Although it was covered over with goat skin, God knew what was on the inside. And maybe us as well, sometimes we're also covered over with difficulties, and maybe we have baggage, and maybe on the surface we might not expose all the gold and silver and all the treasures that we have on the inside. We have to take the time to break past that surface to be able to see what's on the inside. Shabbat shalom.